Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? Of course we're getting back into Love Island All Stars. There's episode 13 which is Unseen Beats, so I don't really go into those, and now there's episode 14 which we will be getting into. But before we get into it, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so we know I'm on to do videos, and let's get into this episode, shall we? So it's the night after the days and I'm just like, why are they all discombobulated about this man sleeping with 16 women? At the end of the day, he was single. He was single and what? Callum was single and what? She got Molly as absolutely fuming at the fact that she's found out that this man has slept with 16 girls within the 6 months that they were separated. He finished his relationship. He went and decided to sow his oats at the end of the day. That's essentially what he did. She could have done the same thing if she really wanted to, but she decided not to. So she was there with the girls. Ask me how many people I've slept with, and I asked her, one person. And, like, seriously, and keywords, you were single. He could do what the hell he wanted within that time. Because then Molly sits there and says that it's quite tragic that he supposedly went to find himself in Bali or wherever that Callum went, and it was quite tragic that he slept with all these girls. And I said, no, what's actually tragic, Molly, is the fact that you're so bothered by all of this. You went together, so whatever he was doing outside the hemisphere of your relationship or non-relationship is none of your rotted business at the end of the day. So then they were talking about the situ with Chris and Arabella, with Chris kissing Arabella to say that, you know, she was the most nefarious person, but you know what I mean, within the island. Basically, Chris kissed her because she called him disingenuous. He wasn't over the fact that she had the audacity to call him disingenuous when he says he was being very honest with her. I'm just like, with these two, yeah. I don't know if they will have unfinished business with each other. I think they really need to sit down and sort their issues out. With Chris, he just kind of cut it off then and there. Once she'd gone around telling people that he was disingenuous, he doesn't open up, he was playing games, yada yada yada, when in actuality he had been open and honest with her in regards to what he was doing and how he was feeling about Sophie. And then his next actions going forward, especially while getting to know Arabella still and then getting to know Sophie, she didn't like that in the slightest because she wanted to be number one. All girls, all men want to feel like they're number one, but I'm sorry, it's Love Island. It would never make you feel like you are number one with anybody. So then you have the sneaky shit with Georgia S and Tom. It's more so, I am going to put this out there, it's more so Georgia S being hella sneaky than it is Tom. Tom's entertaining her chatter, but not fully entertaining her chatter. He's not jumping straight in on the offboard like she is. So she decided that they're going to do their own little couple of truth or dare. So she picks up the cards and basically tells to Tom, ask Tom again, do you fancy me? Do you still fancy me? Again, he's answered that question for you already. He already said yes, he does fancy you. The fact that you have to ask, the fact that Georgia S has to ask it again probably seems that this man don't like her like that, or he's not giving her the signs that he actually does like her, or is in it the way that she's in it. She's being hella sneaky, like hella sneaky. So he asked her, would you rather be with me or Callum? This girl did not answer the question straight at the end of the day. She's playing a hella dangerous game. She point blank said that she fancies Tom more than she fancies Callum. But in all intents and purposes, she is not showing this shit to Callum. She's not showing it at all. She's actually showing Callum how much she likes him and how much she's into him. So Callum's getting a completely different idea as to what's going on with her behaviour with Tom at this moment in time. And this is why I said Georgia S is the female version of Mitch. Georgia S is the female version of Mitch because they're both messy, they're both sneaky, they both go behind people's back saying different things to each other's in their person's faces, and then literally in the next breath stabbing them in the back as they go along. And that's what Georgia S is doing. She's showing her true colours. Absolutely showing her true colours. So basically, she's saying that on impulse, she would be with Tom. And it's the connection. She's saying that there's a connection that she shares with Tom, which is rather nice. I'm calling bollocks on this girl. I'm literally calling bollocks on this girl. Molly's got something nice, shiny and new. That's how I'm seeing it. Now she wants to take that away from Molly. This girl has got her shit in a bonnet about something in regards to Molly because she did it with Callum and now she's doing it with Tom. I don't know really where her loyalties really lie. She's not a girl's girl. I'm going to say that true and fact. Georgia S is not a girl's girl. Georgia S is definitely there looking out for number one, which is herself. I don't know what kind of game she's playing with Tom, but it's a very dangerous one. Then you see Molly go and have a chat with Callum, basically to have this whole discussion about the fact that he had 16 girls in 6 months. And she was saying that it's rather gross. And I'm like, Molly, let it go. Let it go. It had nothing to do with you. It's what he wanted to do at the end of the day. He was with consenting women. He did what he did. And at least he was open and honest about it. So basically, she wanted him to be a little bit more remorseful of his actions. And she goes, oh no, maybe that was the wrong word to use. And I'm thinking, it weren't the wrong word to use, actually. It was the actual word you wanted to use, Molly. It was the actual word that Molly wanted to use. She wanted Callum to be remorseful for doing what he did because she wanted Callum to have put her first in any of his thinkings when they separated at the end of the day, because Molly was completely bothered by the fact that he did what he did and to her showed no remorse. Why should he show any remorse? You weren't together. You weren't together, and this just shows me, from my point of view, Molly just wants to control the feelings and the emotions and how things go and the narrative that's being painted when it comes to Callum. At the end of the day, she still wants to literally keep bang, 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 banging at this man, making him feel bad for literally dumping her. That's how it's coming across to me. That is how it's coming across to me, that Molly wants to make Callum feel bad for dumping her. And then the fact that she's found out he slept with all these women, now it's even worse. Now it's a case of, I'm glad I didn't get back with you sort of thing. When in actuality, you were not together. And I note within the conversation that when Callum says anything, especially when to bring up a negative in regards to Molly and her behaviour and how she speaks to people, she won't take that. She will not take that at all. So she will then get arsey. So she expects Callum to listen to the shit that she's saying and accept what she's saying. But then when Callum's telling her, well, actually, X, Y, and Z, she doesn't accept it. She don't want to listen to it. She don't want to hear nothing bad being said about herself, because you know what? Molly has painted Callum as the bad guy, and she wants everybody else to paint him as the bad guy. So then the text comes in for someone at the couples to share away retreat, I should say. And I picked Callum and Georgia S. God. I was like, okay, we'll see how this plays out. Seeing as she's been double dipping, well, trying to double dip with Tom, we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if she's standoffish or has the conversation at least with Callum to say, you know what, this is where my attentions are going. Did Georgia S heckers like? I'm like, does she realise that as a public we're watching all of this, and as a public she should know that anything that happens kind of like this is going to be showing to us? She realised she's being recorded, innit? She realised she's brewing shit with Tom behind Callum's back, and then in Callum's face painting this rosy picture like she's really into this guy, to the point of saying there's nobody else I'd rather be in a retreat with than you. Why are you lying? No, somebody tell me, why is Georgia S lying? Why is she lying? Why is she lying? Does she not realise that these lies will come home to roost? These lies will be painted, these lies will be splashed. And then how's she going to claw that back? Because not only did you fuck over Callum, but you're fucking over Molly too. Now there's a reason why you're doing this shit. There is a reason why you're doing this shit. Even though Tom, you know, has shared kisses with Molly, yeah, and actually wants to get to know Molly, but because because Georgia S is who she is, the pretty princess who has to have everything, she has to have Tom too. There's history between her and Tom, so she's got to have him. This girl's on another planet. This girl's on another planet, and I'm getting tired because nobody's, she's talking to so many people and nobody's saying nothing. No one's saying nothing to Callum, and no one's saying nothing to Molly. Like, really saying nothing to Molly. She's sneaky as hell. Georgia S is a snake. Georgia S is a snake. The S in her last name should be known as Snake, not Steel. Ross. She's playing some game. So as they got into the hideaway, you see the others just spilling about, having their chats with each other. You see Mitch and Georgia H having a conversation with each other in regards to the situation between themselves going forward. And basically Georgia H wants him. I don't understand how you go from Anton, who is a man, to Mitch, who is literally a man-child. Like, Mitch is not emotionally mature in the slightest. You see what the fuck he did to Libby, but then Georgia H still wants to go there because he's her type. And I'm just like, some of these girls in this villa, I have to be honest, discombobulate me all the time. Like, all the freaking time. Every time I listen to them, I'm like, do you not know your own self-worth? Like, seriously, are you gonna let these men like think that you're some kind of puppy show? What the fuck is going on? Like, seriously? So yeah, so Georgia actually saying basically let the dust settle, because she is a girl's girl and she doesn't really want to be treading on Libby's toes in that sense, and then basically seeing where it goes from there. And Mitch was fine with that. So then you see, because they've all come out, it's daytime, you know, they've all come out of the hideaway and this, that and the other, and you see Georgia S grab Tom and take him to the terrace. And I'm like, this girl don't stop. She does not. She's relentless. Like, absolutely relentless. And this is where I was like, yeah, Callum, come on now. You must be seeing something. Like, you must be seeing something. And Molly, you must be seeing something. Like, really. You're not questioning what to go on. Like, going to the sources and saying what to go on. Like, for real, for real. So, basically, Georgia S is saying that the timing between her and Tom is crazy. And basically saying that she doesn't have the tension with Callum that she does with Tom. And when she sees Tom around the villa, all she wants to do is just like kiss his face off. And I'm just like, is this girl for real? Is that how she playing it for real? So you can tell that when she moves closer to Tom, she's angling for a kiss. This girl is angling for a kiss, but Tom does not give her what he's looking for. He really doesn't. Tom kind of actually looks hella uncomfortable. Yes, he's entertaining Georgia S's chatter, but Tom does look hella uncomfortable because it's literally Georgia S just literally, boom, here I am, boom, take it, boom, come on, then what you waiting for? I'm like, my girl, slow your roll and put your neck on a wind up, because Tom is with Molly and is actually liking Molly. He's liking Molly. And you're with Callum and feeding him all this motherfucking guff, knowing full well that there's two people by your actions that are going to be hurt. But does Georgia S give a shit? No, she don't. Georgia S does not give a shit. She's trying to say that she's giving Tom time in order to have this connection or relationship or get to know Molly. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. Georgia S is not doing that. She is not. She's making sure that Tom knows that she's always going to be there in order to supersede Molly. Yeah. Georgia S is sneaky as hell. She's probably worse than Mitch. Nah, she probably is worse than Mitch, to be fair. So then you see Callum and Anton have a chat. And Callum has basically clocked that Georgia S has pulled Tom after the night of the truth or dare over by the fire pit, and that again she's pulled Tom to go sit on the terrace and have a chat with her. So Callum is kind of like thinking he may be overthinking things, but Callum's not. Georgia S is playing in your face, Callum. You're not overthinking things at all. So Callum is basically saying that all he wouldn't want is not to see Molly hurt by Tom, but he's getting pissed off with the pull-up chats that these two keep on having. But what he has to realise is if Callum's already clocking the chats between them two, there's only one common denominator that is pulling Tom for chats, and that's Georgia S. You need to have a chat with Georgia S and ask her straight out what the fuck is going on between you and Tom. That's what you need to be doing, because it ain't all just Tom. It isn't all just Tom. It's your gal too. So Callum needs to be pulling her up too. So as they're all getting ready for the night time, Georgia H does speak to Libby about Mitch and say where she is at the end of the day. And Libby is just basically telling her to go for it, because at the end of the day, Mitch didn't treat Libby right. He didn't. We all know this. We all saw it. And now Libby has realised her worth, basically, and thought, nah, I ain't going to have this man fucking me up the way he has been in this place. So, I don't know if Mitch is going to be any different with Georgia H after witnessing what he did with Libby. Jury's out. Jury's out on that one. So, Georgia S is talking to Sophie in the bathroom. And basically, she's telling Sophie, Georgia S is telling Sophie that she thinks Callum knows something is up, and Callum smells a rat. And I'm like, yeah, the rat's you. The rat's you, Georgia S. Like, it really is. It's you. It's you. I'm just like, where is Georgia S gonna go from here? Like, seriously, where is she going to go from here? So a text comes through. Hannah and Tyler go on their first date. As dates go, it's an okay date. He's getting to know her. Tyler's saying all the nice things, all the cute things in regards to Hannah, and I'm just like, I just hope it's true. Like, seriously, Tyler, I just hope it's true and you're not just stringing Hannah along in that sense. Because at the end of the day, Hannah has not connected with anybody in there but you, because you made her feel comfortable. And you're saying that she makes you feel hella comfortable in that sense. But I'm still thinking there's unfinished business between him and Kaz. And then you see Kaz get a little bit upset in regards to the date that Tyler has got on. And basically Toby's giving her that pep talk in terms of like, she's got this and that, and this is what happens. People may say, yeah, that as women, especially black women, yeah, that we can show our emotions, but no, we're seen as the strong ones. We're seen as, we can't show this inner shell of us that's quite soft, and actually we cry like hell at times. And I understood where Kaz was coming from, where she said that she doesn't tend to show these things because at the end of the day, she didn't want to put her feelings and how she felt about the situation on Tyler and Hannah, because that was their time. And this is why I like Kaz. This is why I like Kaz. This is why I like Kaz. And then it comes to Tom and Chris, and you see Tom actually telling Chris exactly what's been occurring between him and Georgia S. So he spoke to Chris in regards to the terrace. He spoke to Chris in regards to the truth and dare stuff and the exact things that Georgia S has been saying to him, and the discrepancy she's putting away in regards to Callum. Now, Chris has basically said to Tom that you have two options, which is true. Tom has two options. You either come clean and speak to Callum, or you just basically don't say anything, and then if it comes out, someone's going to get hurt. Someone is going to get hurt by the nefariousness that is going on right now. That's his two options. But all I know, Tom has made no decision. He has not made no decision when it comes to Georgia S in the slightest. And you see Georgia S then talk to Sophie, and Georgia S is telling Sophie about Callum and Tom, and basically saying she's not even at the point where she's thinking about even sleeping or having interactions with Callum in that sense. So Sophie says, well, you've got your answer in terms of where you want to go. And she's still there umming and ahhing, I don't know what to do. Maybe Georgia S needs to go, sit her ass down and have a talk with Callum in regards to the shit that she's playing out with Tom. Because when that shit comes out and it hits the fan, it's not going to be a good look for Georgia S in the slightest. Not at all. but we'll see what happens from here on out, shall we? So now the public then have to choose the couples in which they want to stay in the villa or leave the villa. But we know that two couples, I think they said two couples, we know that one couple is going to be leaving the villa sometime soon via the public vote. And because there hasn't been a recoupling, they've still got Libby and Mitch together, and they've still got Georgia S and Callum together. So I was kind of thinking it's going to be between them two. And the only reason why Libby would leave the island is because of Mitch. And the only reason why Callum would leave the island is because of the messiness that is Georgia S. But we shall see what happens. As I always say, my renegade, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on to do videos. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.